And welcome to episode 48 of the FlameFlash.net podcast. As you may be aware, I'm FlameFlash. Hi there. And welcome aboard to episode 48. The beta of World of Warcraft is now live, so the Raptor report is not yet tracking that. And I've spent probably a good 2 hours in there, if I'm just going to give a rough estimate. In that time, well, hit a couple of roadblocks, one being my loss of my keybinds. Though, if you hit Mama, Monk of Mists, you'll see WoW Insider gave an excellent guide to how to correct for that when you copy a character over. So, that's since been corrected. The game still doesn't feel complete enough to go and in-depth test things like specs, dual specs, switching specs. Well, those things aren't working yet. It's a beta. What do you expect? Anyway, aside from that, on the Raptor report, we have Super Mario Kart 7 again. Now, the reason Mario Kart 7 is showing up is because I now officially have one star on every cup. Haha! So it has been defeated. The ultimate challenge, of course, is to get 3 stars. I'm going to aim for 2 for now. Aim at 2, move up to 3. And then all that's left is online. It's really satisfying, though, to go out there and race all of the ghosts that can be downloaded. Study their patterns, study how that first place player is winning, and then beat that player. I don't know if I'm slowly working my way up through the ghosts and tiers. I don't know how other people are faring against my ghost or ghosts, but Wario seems to have returned as my favorite. It was Bowser in the original Super Mario Kart, Wario in the N64 version, Luigi in the GameCube. I can't recall on the Game Boy Advance version which one, nor oddly the DS version at this point. I think Luigi again, though. Wii was also Luigi. Those medium carts offer the flexibility of both speed and recovery. But Wario in Mario Kart 7, along with the ability to customize your kart how you see fit, for a single-player experience, absolutely perfect. I'll have to reconsider once Red Flare starts kicking my butt in Mario Kart again, as she usually seems to do somehow. Other games on the Raptor report include Magic the Gathering. Now, this is cards. These are the real cards, because I went over to a friend's house, a fellow player, and summarily got my butt kicked for the most part, but also held my own. Definitely gave some surprising tactics and decks for him. And just this evening, retuned a couple of decks. My blue-white control deck and the zombie deck, I think, lost a card or 2 and swapped in a bit more mana just to try to give it a little more strength. So we'll see what happens with those tweaks the next time I have the opportunity to play them. But then, of course, World of Warcraft. Lots of World of Warcraft. The inspiration to play has grown by leaps and bounds with the mists on the horizon. I think it's because I see a lot I'd like to accomplish before Mists hits. That's both current and old content, because I know once Mists hit, I'll be fully focused on the mists and its content and leveling my monk, along with trying to keep my druid and warlock up to snuff. I fear my Death Knight may not hit 90 for a while. We'll have to wait and see. I have quite a few characters I'd like to get all the way up to 90. I have everybody in a steady pace to reach that goal. And we'll just have to wait and see. The monk is fantastic. They're still tweaking, they're still modifying. For instance, when the beta started, roll was an immediate ability, at least for Pandarans. Now roll is something you learn at level 5. Instantaneously, of course, given the new system, but there's still a lot changing, a lot evolving. So making any judgment now on what the game will be on launch is a mistake. As is reading those quests too much and ruining the experience for yourself, because the quests might change. Or, as is the case right now in the monk starting zone, the bamboo reeds on one of the quests, you can't directly click on them. It's driving me nuts. But it's a beta. It happens. It's going to happen. What's neat is on one of the quest texts it says, known issue, must click lower than you expect, or something to that effect. And so Blizzard knows. Blizzard is aware. And they're here to listen and help us out as we help them out. I really wish the feedback option was still available, though, as it was in Cataclysm's beta, because I don't like Blizzard forums. Even after the redesign, they just don't feel indicative to good conversations, positive conversations, constructive feedback. There's far too much trolling out there on this one. But all that said, I'm sitting on a very happy level 5 Red Panda Monk. We have some screen clipping issues with the capes. I'm not sure if when I play as my panda and level up, if I'm going to keep her red or go black and white just because of the cape screen clipping. Either that or I'll disable the cloak altogether and be the first character that, for the most part, doesn't run around with a visible cloak. And instead I get to watch the tail swish around in the wind. The Pandaren hair is incredible. My red panda has a red ponytail braid. Not sure what it is. Red Flare will know. But it flows with the jumps. I'm desperate to see that kind of animation on my druid. Just as she jumps up and down, the hair moves with it. Or my warlock, though he doesn't have much hair, just seeing it impacted by the wind or by the hearthstone. Even my Draenei characters, though a lot of them have shorter hair. Now that I think about it. But with the Raptor report out of the way, we'll continue on and forge ahead. Shorter news week this week for me, as far as what really leapt out and grabbed me. But one thing for sure, this was later last week, 50 Detroit students. So they called for a walkout, demanding education. Seems a little ironic, but they were protesting the fact that they didn't feel they were getting enough education, the right education, that they were being ignored. Well, all 50 of them being suspended certainly helps make headlines, helps bring it up to light. They won. They won by losing. And the greatest shame is that they had to do so in the first place. Alright, feed my inbox. No, this is not a call for some little shop of horrors flashback, but it's an RSS feeder by email. Outlook has an absolutely fantastic feeder. So you set up your RSS in Microsoft Office, and it shows up in your inbox or in your unread mail filter. Beautiful. But what about a Mac user? What can a Mac user do to get all of the articles that they feel they've been missing, see all of the articles, subscribe without using, say, Safari or some other RSS reader? Just get it in one central location. Feed my inbox. It's been working fantastically. So far, I've signed up with the Netflix Watch It Now new announcements. They have an RSS for that. Go check your account, drill in deeper, find your RSS feeds. They offer new releases on disc. They offer new releases on streaming. It's fantastic. Fantastic to know when something new has come out so you can add it to your queue. Or push it to the top. Or both. WoW Insider, of course, is the other one I'm currently following. And while I follow them on Twitter as well, and so I'm able to catch their news when it first comes out, having this extra catch helps. Because they don't tweet everything that they're saying. And likewise, some of their tweets certainly don't do the posts and the authors justice. So, speaking of tweeting, AT&T is about to start allowing users to unlock their iPhones. Now, you have to be in good standing, so, not have a big bill pending with them. And you also need to be out of contract. So, once you're out of contract, you can take it elsewhere. Awesome. I really wish, though, that I had the ability to do this with an iPhone now. The Android's great. I like my Android. For my first smartphone, it's fantastic. But now having an iPad and seeing what the iOS can do sitting right next to the Android, the iOS is just so much crisper, cleaner, smarter. Something that currently drives me nuts on the Android is it has a limited onboard memory and then depends on a 16 gig micro card for the rest. Well, I can't move everything I want from the onboard memory to the 16 gig micro card, so my onboard memory is filling up. Mostly with application updates. No. I mean, it's neat that I don't have to sync my Android anywhere except with Google. But because I don't sync it anywhere, it holds all of its backups internally. Whereas a Mac sitting here on my desk that I am currently talking to holds my iPad's backups. Sure, I could back it up to the cloud and basically pull an Android, but why? I don't need to, so I'm not going to. Having a central location, a central hub for all of our media is preferable, a physical hub, and therefore not trusting the cloud fully. Alright, so PAX East happened this last weekend. Hope everyone had a good Easter, by the way, too. Something funny that kind of came out of PAX East: Lollipop Chainsaw cosplayer. So this is the gal that has been selected, I guess, to star in the game or be modeled after in the game or who knows what. But she was there representing the game and was in some scantily clad outfit. There's a slight hubbub about it. Ironically, though, last year or the year before at some other PAX event, people complained that booth babes, as they are called, were degrading, make them stop, this needs to be a family show, etc. Well, this year, when they tell this actress, model, however you want to reference her as, promoter, we'll do it that way, to cover up, people are now in an uproar going, oh, you can't do that, you can't tell her to do that. What? I like having my cake and eating it too, and I probably butchered a cliche right there, but sometimes you just can't. And these poor Penny Arcade folks are realizing that you can't please everybody. And it's naturally frustrating. But Lollipop Chainsaw, I guess, is going to be an M-rated game, or better be. And this is probably the only mention it's ever going to get. It made some headlines out there and geeky news sites, and so I thought it was worth a mention. Since I one day hope to go to one of the PAX conventions, I am very thankful they want to be a family-friendly environment, because at least my oldest son will be coming with me, if not the oldest daughter as well. Speaking of Penny Arcade, though, there is finally episode 3 coming out. It's going to be completely retooled, so supposedly it's going to look more like a Final Fantasy VI style game, as opposed to whatever style episodes 1 and 2 were in. And that reminds me that I need to actually go and finish episode 2. And then maybe play them through again on the PS3 so I can get a few more trophies, just for the heck of it. It's a fun game, so it's worth playing through again. However, it's also rated M for blood, swearing, and that's it as far as I know. So, more light. I apologize on the video feed for suddenly blinding you with light, but I noticed I was running low on it. Anyway, I can't really play a Penny Arcade game in front of the kids, and my evening time is limited as it is, so hey, maybe I won the Powerball tonight. Probably not. Jackpot. I want the jackpot. Last time I won $4. That's nice, I break even, but I'd very much prefer the jackpot. Thank you very much. You hear that? For those not on the video feed, I was looking to the heavens. So, Maryland. I've mentioned the Facebook privacy concerns, how job employers, potential employers are now asking for your password information. Well, Maryland is working on a law to ban that practice. Huzzah! At least one state in the union is starting to become aware of the great violation it does. I mean, my personal information, they have everything. They could steal my identity. Any potential employer. For crying out loud, they usually ask for your social security number right there on the application. Proves citizenship. Well, it also proves that I'm kind of being dense by just blindly trusting you with that information. I mean, what do you do with it afterwards? You don't tell me. Anyway, Maryland is working on it. Something I was thinking of besides for the tricks previously is, while I can offer them my password, I can't offer them the acceptance of my friends whose privacy settings say I have full access to their profiles, that they would be okay with somebody else having full access to their profiles. So, hopefully, I'll never be put in this situation. But another possible way to subtly fight against it is I am willing to share my information, but I know some of my friends who trust me and have become my Facebook friends are not okay with me sharing their information. So, because of that fact, I'm going to respectfully ask that you only look at what's publicly available on my profile. Because that's all anyone else will ever see anyway. My personal policy is to keep my professional life and my home life separate. Not discuss them in the two places publicly. And if you want me, that is the level of professionalism I will bring. And we'll see if that takes, if it's ever needed. Hopefully it won't be. Wow, that danced the line of talking about work, didn't it? Huh. Almost tripped over. So let's go back to gaming. Civilization 5. The expansion now has a release date called Gods and Kings, June 19th. This brings in religion, probably among other things, but I haven't heard what those other things are yet. I'm looking forward to it. I need to actually beat that game a few more times on a few more different strategies. Perhaps I'll start a new game once this expansion hits and do it that way. Finally, we'll close with a subtle poke. If anybody wants to buy me the new WoW store pet, the Soul of the Aspects, I certainly wouldn't mind. Podcast at flameflash.net. Just saying. Subtle hint. Seriously, though. He looks really neat. I don't think he has any special abilities, like Little Ragnaros becoming a cooking fire, or the, what's he called? The baby druid Moonkin growing flowers at his feet and dancing and flapping his wings as he follows you around. I don't think any of that. It supposedly does some loops and corkscrews, kind of like when you do a slash mount special on the Heart of the Aspects mount. But definitely one to hope for and plan to pick up on the next budgeting session. 3 accounts, so that's why I have to hold back a little bit. I also didn't want to get stuck in queue, because a lot of times when these new WoW pets first come out, there's a queue. But that actually does it. It's later than usual, so I'm going to go and pass out now. And feel free to send feedback to Flameflash on Twitter, flameflash.net on Facebook, also podcast at flameflash.net. You can find me on Raptor, that place that I praise every week and gives me the Raptor Report organization. Raptor.com/Flameflash. picked up another follower there, interestingly enough, so I may have to start cross-posting the podcast there just to direct people. Monk of Mists is continuing strong, and when I have a chance, hopefully tomorrow, I'll actually be posting my thoughts on the 1 to 5 overly crowded leveling a Pandaren monk experience. Really tears if I'm going to be leveling a monk first or leveling one of my 85s first, because both areas are going to be completely chaotic. It's partially tempting to level one of my mid characters and wait for some things to cool off, but if I do that, then I fall behind. So we'll wait and see. 5 more levels for the monk to go before he gets out. She gets out. And so far it's been an incredibly enjoyable ride. So this is Flame Flash of flameflash.net of episode 48. We're approaching that year mark. I'm very proud of that. But we'll see you again next week for episode 49. Flame Flash, signing off.